Hi, I'm Brent Johnson, and today we've come to Kansas City. We have a few organs we're going to see here, but we're starting in the Municipal Auditorium. This is the music hall right here in downtown Kansas City, home to a wonderful theater organ, so a little bit of a change today. I hope you enjoy it. Let's check it out. This is Marvin Faulwell. You are, what's your position here at this theater?
I'm a resident.
So you are the resident theater organist here. This is an amazing Robert Morton instrument, originally from another theater, though. Tell me about
From the Midland Theater in 1926.
Midland Theater, and that wasn't very far away, right?
2-3 blocks.
So it just made a trip down here.
That's right.
And it wasn't being played at all there, correct?
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, it was gone. It went to California.
Okay.
Into Solano Beach Restaurant.
Oh, really?
And then it came back from there to Columbus, Ohio, as a extra parts organ for their big organ out there. And then they just called us up and said, would you like this? And we said yes.
So all the way from Kansas City, California to Ohio,
Back
right
to
back
here.
to Kansas City, right down the
back-
street.
Right down the street.
So it's been completely restored and actually enlarged a little bit too, correct?
It was. It was originally a 20-rank organ,
Okay.
and this was raised to 28 ranks.
All right, so we got a few extra little sounds.
We needed some softer because everything in this organ is really loud. It's on 15 inches of wind.
Oh, really? Well, it's a big room to fill, but it's nice to have a variety of colors. And this is Robert Morton. They were California.
Van Nuys, California.
And so yeah, one of the, and I think most people think Wurlitzer when they think theater organ.
They do.
But this was the number 2 builder of
The
theater
number
organs.
2 builder.
So much so that I think some of the parts were even manufactured by other builders.
Yeah,
from time to time.
Gottfried and yes.
They couldn't even keep up with their own output.
Yeah.
Well, it's fantastic. It looks like it's a wonderful instrument.
Well, that's part of the mystique was it had to look big and impressive, and of course the owners of the theaters always said, well, this cost millions of dollars. But when we look at the invoices, it was like 50 or 60,000.
Well, at the time, that was
a lot
that
of
was a lot of money. What year was this originally built?
1926.
26. So it's yeah, definitely lived almost 100 years now. So I'm ready to hear a little bit of it. But once again, it's a theater organ. It's a little different from a classical instrument. We don't talk about divisions and
everything
ensembles.
is all everywhere.
Yeah. So
Everything is floating.
everything's floating, but we have 2 chambers. So tell
Exactly.
me how the chambers are laid out.
Well, this is the solo, and it has the tibias and some of the bright reeds.
Okay.
And then the main has a lot of strings and flutes and diapason, horn diapason,
Okay.
clarinet.
So kind of our accompaniment and our solo sounds or something.
Kind of.
It's kind of like that. Okay. Well, let's start with this main chamber over here, and let's just start with the diapasons. Tell me what we've got.
And then,
That's the horn diapason at the 8 and 4.
yes,
Okay.
this is the diphonic.
A very different sound.
Yes. much broader, woolly sound.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Is that actually a diaphone down at the bottom?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So when it goes to 16 is a diaphone.
Hello.
Broad and woolly, but it still has a little bit of an edge to it. Almost
It
sounds like
does.
a string.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What else do we have in there?
Well, we have some strings over here. The organ has 7 strings,
7.
and they're all celested.
Oh, really?
So this particular rank, and this is the loudest of the strings,
Okay.
the violin and violin celeste, is 3 ranks.
Really?
Originally, it was supposed to be tuned sharp, flat, and the principal one. But everybody now tunes it sharp, sharp, and sharp.
All right.
And that's pretty bright string.
Yeah, so the Celeste brings on 2 ranks of Celeste. not
Exactly.
just one. Okay.
That's right. And then we put in an extra celestial, and this is Robert Morton on 15 inches, but it's soft. And that's
It's
2
still pretty
ranks.
bright. Yeah.
And then the gamba. And that's over in the solo. And if you put them all together, you get this glorious spring. Now, most church organists, that would be a little too much.
It's a lot of strings for classical organ. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. But here he gives you all of those orchestral colors you can
That's right.
experiment with.
You can feel those strings in there.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So let's continue on in the main chamber.
Okay, we have a clarinet. Nice clarinet.
Mm-hmm.
We have a French horn. This was an addition. Almost everything we added was softer stops.
Okay.
So we had plenty of firepower.
Yeah, lots of big reeds. He just gives you some smaller ones. All
Yeah.
right.
We have a Vox. This is a Wurlitzer Vox.
Yeah.
We have a bigger Vox over in the solo. And these are Wurlitzer replacements, and they're on 6 inches.
Okay.
And the Morton Wurlitzers were in the bottom of the box. And so they were pretty well trashed.
I see.
Yeah. The concert flute, and it goes clear up. And it goes down too.
So 96 note rank from 16 all the way to 2 foot.
Yes. 97.
97 with the top. You're right. Okay. Is that everything in that division, or
We've heard the horn diap. We have a tuba horn, and this was added, and it is Robert Morton on 15 inches of wind. We were very fortunate to get some of the pipes that we've got.
It's fairly gentle for
It
tuba
is.
horn.
If we compare it with the tuba mirabilis, which is over here,
It's still not incredibly large, but it's nice and clear.
It is. Now, we have a tibia. When we start talking about tibias, then we get dewy-eyed.
Yeah.
But this is the main tibia, and I'm going to run it without the trims. Big stopped flute. The tibia plana is an open flute, but it got some water damage.
Oh, no.
Just recently. When we put in the organ, as you notice, it goes way up. And so we put in a false ceiling.
Okay.
And we put it in at a slant. And then we covered it with visqueen. The idea being the water will go to the back wall, or wherever it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had a scuttle hole there to get up above it, and the water found the scuttle hole.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And so it wiped out 3 ranks, and we've gotten 2 of them back, but we don't have the play. So let's listen to the main tibia. Brings tears to the eyes.
The tremolo makes all the difference in
It
the sound
does.
of that
It
sound.
does. Let's listen to the solo tibia over here. This guy is a big guy. And all theater organ people like what's called open harmony. I mean, it just... Open harmony.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back. Let's go over to the solo.
Solo chamber.
Okay. And you've heard the big tibia, and you've heard the diapason. You've heard the mirabilis. We have a French trumpet. These pipes were banged up a little bit, and they were sent back to Trivo to be kind of
restored,
re-regulated, yeah.
Okay.
And then we have a saxophone, which is brand new,
Oh, really?
and it's a brassless sax. And what it really is, it's just a big Vox.
That's what, yeah, I've finally decided that's all that saxophones kind of serve as a Vox substitute.
It's significant.
It just adds a lot of edge to those.
It does.
Those warm
It
flutes.
does.
Okay.
And
Useful
then
stuff.
we have, I missed the quinadina
Oh.
in the main. With the flute.
Yeah. Distinctive sound.
Yeah. The post horn. The post horn. It is not on trim.
Okay.
And most of the 8-foots in this organ are not on trim.
Really?
We wanted a solid base somewhere,
Okay.
as opposed to having everything wobbling all the time. So
Interesting.
it is. But if we're playing something, we'll sometimes use it. That type of thing.
Yeah, it adds a lot of fire there. Doesn't it?
It is a lot of fire.
Okay.
And then a post horn.
Yeah, it really brightens the ensemble. Okay.
Canura.
Let me hear the Canera by itself first.
It is truly a bee in a bottle.
Just a tiny little. And many of these reeds go down to 16 foot as well, don't they?
They do. The oboe horn goes down to 16 foot. Great stop.
Wow, yeah.
One of my favorites. Also going down is the gamba. And that puts a nice edge on it.
Yeah.
And the tibia clausa. Horn diapason goes down. And you've heard the big diapason. Tuba mirabilis. These are listed as resultants, but they actually are electronically made.
Oh, okay. That adds a lot of rumble.
It was interesting. When we first hooked up the organ, the diaphone's over here, and we were up in the chamber. We just had the pipes in, and it was winded. So we listened to it. We thought, wow. We got out here. It wasn't wow.
Oh, really?
This room eats bass. And so we augmented a lot of this stuff with Proteus type electronics.
Being a theater organ, of course, it has lots of effects and other things that a normal organ wouldn't have. Namely, we have some percussion stops in this one.
We do.
What do
We
we
have
got?
a harp. And a Chris, which is a celeste. Xylophone. Glockenspiel.
I really wish more classical organs had things like xylophones and glockenspiels, because I think those are actually pretty useful
Well,
in
I
a
think
lot of
they
music.
are. I think they are. And I think organists as a whole have changed a little bit, and they're beginning to realize that,
Yeah.
we maybe not have gotten them to the tibia yet.
No, but
We're working
we're
on
getting
it.
close. We also have a set of chimes in there.
We do. That is clear up to the top of where you see the lights. It's on the third level.
They ring out well into the room.
They do.
Okay.
They're pretty good chimes.
Yeah. Let's talk about untuned percussion. What have we got here for
Well,
noisemakers?
noisemakers. Chinese block, the tap cymbal.
Castanets and snare drum there.
Yeah. And then we have the toy counter. There's a nice roll cymbal, a fire gong. If the preacher goes a little too long, I think that gong
It'd
would
be a good,
handy.
yeah. I could use one of those.
Crash cymbal, triangle.
Of course, these are things that are probably best kept in the theater, not
They
really
are,
useful in church organs.
But they're handy if you're playing a silent
Silent
movie.
movies, you need sound effects. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, now we're still not done. There's still some things that are unique to this instrument, or unique to theater organs. Specifically, the second touch feature. Show me how that
I
works on
am
this
going
organ.
to show you. If I press lightly, that's one. If I press a little more, that's the other.
Now, how do you set those stops up? So it allows you to do a counter melody and your accompaniment in
Exactly.
one hand. Okay, but then show me now so there's a separate set of stops.
Those are right here. They're called
Okay, so just those
accompaniment
stops.
second touch.
And those are the only ones that are available as that
Right.
louder
Yeah.
push. Okay, but they are pretty much your color stops and your loudest.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And,
some
and of
percussion.
course, that type of thing
Okay,
too.
that must take some getting used to and just practice to.
Would you
to
like
get
to
used
press it?
Well, yeah. Let me feel what it's like. So,
Hang on here.
definitely.
There you go.
But yeah, so it's definitely more energy to play it. But even just
It does.
thinking one finger's got to press harder than the other fingers,
Right,
it's
if
got to
you're-
be something of a trick.
It's handy.
Yeah, okay.
I know Bach would have liked it.
Well, I'm thinking even if, in a church setting, that'd be nice to solo out a melody in a
Yeah.
hymn or something without having to take the whole thing apart. So, a versatile instrument here with a lot of colors in it. And,
Well, it was originally called a unit orchestra.
of course, yeah. Well, who takes care of this instrument and keeps it playing? Tell me
Well,
about that.
Kansas City Theater Pipe Organ, and Marc Dorsett is our president.
Okay.
And we're a small but mighty group. There's a gentleman by the name of Dan Davis, that takes care of the instrument from the standpoint of repairs and tuning. At the time that we put it in, we had a group of about 4 or 5 people. We put it in ourselves.
Oh, wow.
And we would come down on Tuesday night and work, and then we'd come down all day on Thursday was my day off. So we'd come down and work then.
All volunteer work to get this.
All volunteer. Now, once we got it in, then we began to get a few donations from people, but before that, they didn't buy it.
That's amazing. And so you had these perfect chambers for it. Was there an organ in here, or was there intended to be
Never
an organ?
was.
Okay.
Never was. And at some point, I was talking with the city architect, Tom Bean. And Tom, we talked about the organ space, and I said, how nice it would be to put an organ in here. He said, okay. And all of a sudden, the doors opened, and we were allowed in, and we're one of the principal residents of the theater.
Well, from what I'm gathered, even with us being here today, that the city and the Theater Organ Society work together very well.
We
and,
have.
And this
Yeah,
is,
Mark has been pretty important to us because he deals with these folks really
Okay.
well. You need to have one person to deal, not the tribe.
Well, Mark is here, and he's going to take me up and show me around inside the chambers and see all the great work you guys did on this organ. But first, I want to
Enjoy.
I want to hear a little more of the organ, though.
What would you like to hear?
Whatever you feel like playing. Let's hear it. So we're going to start with the solo chamber. This is on the right side of the auditorium as the audience is seated. This is Marc Dorsett. He's going to take us up and show us around a little bit. We just go back here through this door, and then there is a ladder going straight up into the chamber. Now this is a pretty densely packed and crowded chamber, but we come right up, and the first thing we see are lots of regulators. We have a vox humana right there, and then chests above our head. Back here to the right, and there's a ladder, and there's some chests up above. 8-foot strings along the back wall. And to look at those, here's a relay here on the back side of the ladder, but we're gonna go up the ladder, and now we're looking down at that chest. I believe that's our post horn and some of our strings. We are looking a little closer at it. Sets along the back wall. We're back down on the floor now. We have our 16-foot stop pipes there, and here I believe is the harp. Another look at the vox humana, and there's the chest above us, a different chest above us. We're going to go up and see that. To get to that one, we have to go up this ladder right here. It brings us up to some offset reed pipes here. Quite the forest of pipes in here. There's our 16-foot diaphones back against the back wall. And we come around, and there's more pipes along the back. Here's the wind chest, and the first thing we see is the saxophone right here, and the tuba across from it. One of the two, I don't know which tuba that is. Walking through, we can get another look there. Another reed on the chest. Then the saxophone again. Diaphonic diapason down between. Here's the tibia clausa. We're going over to this chest, which has the cunera and some other reed pipes. I can't see which ones yet. And if we stretch up above, we can find the toy counter with all of our untuned percussions. It's kind of hard to see from this spot. We step over to that chest and can look up again, and it's still kind of hard to get a good shot of the toy counter up there. So we'll just keep going on through the cunera chest here. There's the harp we saw from the floor. Looking back, the tibia clausa.
Okay, this is now into the main chamber of the organ, on the stage right, audience left.
So right up the ladder, and we're in the midst of the chamber. This one's a little bit easier to get around in, although it's still pretty crowded. We have some of the Wurlitzer pipes here, these reeds along the back wall. And even more stuffed back there in the corner. You can see there's several regulators in here. You have to be careful walking through not to trip over them. Get over here to this end of the chamber, and then there is a ladder that takes us up. And from that ladder we can see some tibia pipes. We have a chest here in front of us. This houses the tibia, solutional, celeste. See our xylophone up there. And below it the quintadina with some other pipes interspersed. And a tuba over here. And then one missing rank. Not sure what, maybe where the open tibia is supposed to be. And if we look through, we can see another chest there against the other side of the ladder, so we're going to go around the ladder. Take a look over there. In this chest we have a clarinet, an oboe horn, concert flute, and the horn diapason in the back. And then lots of very skinny offset things behind it. And even behind that there's some pedal that we can't really see from here, but we'll get a look at that when we go up, because there's still one chest above us. There's our chrysoglot looking up from the second level. And even more tibias. We're going to go up to the next level. There's our chrysoglot looking up close. And there's that final chest. This one has the 3-rank celeste with a unison sharper and sharp. Although it says that it used to be flat, so we can see where it was marked, but if we jump across to that chest, we can see that it's been changed to sharp and sharper with the unison in the back. And that's this chamber. From here we're going to go down to the basement to see the blower. We continue down and we're underneath the stage now. And this little closet houses the 1926 blower. Still working, and it's powered now by modern electronics, but there is actually the existing 1926 relay, which still works if needed, but after a near failure, these were replaced with modern electronics. And we continue on. We're going out to the orchestra pit, to what they call the dog house, where the console is stored when it's not being used. The console's been lowered all the way down now to the pit level, and here it is. It slides back into that area behind it, known as the dog house. This area is normally covered by a section of removable stage.
So we needed some speakers. These came from the Midland Theater, and they were used when they showed the movie Earthquake. And they were supposed to rumble people in their seats.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed our visit to the Robert Morton organ here at the Kansas City Municipal Auditorium Music Hall. My thanks to Marvin Faulwell and Marc Dorsett for their help in making this visit possible. My thanks also to the city of Kansas City. From what I understand, the city and the Theater Organ Society work together here very well to preserve this organ and to make it possible for us to bring it to you. So their help was instrumental. Our thanks to everybody involved. I'd also like to thank all of our sponsors who help get us across the country to see great organs like this one. You can become a video sponsor just like Eric Talbot in Chicago, who became a video sponsor last year, and help us make more videos and go to other great cities across the country. You can do that by going to organ.media and find the menu option that says support. We have a brand new website now and a brand new way of raising funds, all that help make these videos possible. So thank you to all of our sponsors. We have more videos from Kansas City coming out, so make sure you're subscribed to our channel and click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Until our next video is out, though, remember you can always find streaming classical organ music on our 3 stations, organlive.com, Positively Baroque, and The Organ Experience. Until next time, I'm Brent Johnson. Thank you for watching.